Hey everyone, we are going to dive right into class number 3 review. There was a couple of you that were missing, so I'll try to give as much detail without getting overly detailed as possible. The first move we went over was a bounce, also known as a yo-yo, iso bounce, a couple different names for it. Looks like this. Pretty simple, easy move. A little bit harder than it looks, but in the end, pretty simple, easy to do. You should be able to do it pretty quickly, I feel. So I've got a light grip on the hoop. For this move, you are essentially making a V. If we're going with like this motion, if you're driving, not quite to 3, so maybe a 1 and an 11. Keep that movement in mind because say when you come over to the 1 o'clock and you go down to make the bottom of that V, you are going to come up and you will be ever so slightly curving your arm, hand, and hoop as such. Down, over, down, up, over, down, up, over, down, up, over. What I like to do out of this bounce is go into a down, up, over, and go into a push and pull, which is super fun and fluid. You can do it fast or slow, musicality, whatever you like, but you're going to be pushing it, and your hand hoop position is going to rotate. So you're still doing this. You're just doing a different angle over here. Pulling it across, drive it down, push, drive it down, pull, drive it down, push, into a V. You can do these real big, however you feel. You can do these real big. You can do these real small. These real small. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be fast. Feel it out. So that is the bounce and the push and pull, iso, bounce, yo-yo thingy. All right, so we will dive into the next move that we tried out. Were versions of mandalas. Super beautiful. Let me show you. The first version, probably the best one to start with because it's going, well, you can do it fast, but it starts out pretty slow. You will have your arms up above you, thumb to thumb, and you will drive it down to your right. I will show you how this looks here. And then you are going to meet your hands thumb to thumb in the back, switch hands, and then you will bring it up, driving it up back to the starting position up at the top, meeting thumb to thumb again. Thumb to thumb, drive it down. Your thumb is up in this position. The hoop is going to rotate down around your bum. Grab at that point. Thumb is up now as you are elbow bent, thumbs up, bringing it back up to the starting point. One hand. Out to your right, thumbs up, hoop. Gravity brings it down and around. Other hand brings it up. It is away from your body here, but then as your arm comes up, it is rotating. It's like if you were doing one of those isolations, basically, a one-handed isolation, because you are doing this motion. 12 o'clock. almost like you've got a bow and arrow action going here. And then it is going to rotate down, grab with the other hand, rotate up to 9 o'clock. When you get to the 9 o'clock, you are at that bow and arrow positioning. Bring it up to the 12 o'clock, grab, thumb to thumb, bring it down to the 3. When you get to the 3, you're at this bow and arrow stance. And when you start coming out of that, when you're going down to the 6 o'clock is when the hoop will do this rotation like a wing. And it will rotate down and around your booty. You will grab it. You will rotate it up. When it gets to the 9 o'clock, it's like the bow and arrow. Up to 12 o'clock. Yeah. Hopefully I explained that well. All right, second variation that we tried out in class was the spinning variation of the mandala. Show it to you really quick. So we are spinning with our, use your comfortable dominant hand, whichever you prefer, but always good to do it both ways anyways. Giving it a toss to start the hooping to the right hand. You're going to do a behind the back pass, which is thumb to thumb. So grab, pass, thumb to thumb, bring it up, hoop it. It will be going in the reverse direction on the left hand. Bringing it up, grab, pinky to pinky grabs at the top. Pinky to pinky at the top, thumb to thumb at the bottom. So then we are continuing that, spinning, grab, pass, spin, spin, grab, pinky to pinky, spin, 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 thumbs, spin, 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 pinkies, spin, spin, spin. Give you a little behind the scene view. I'm spinning, right hand towards the right, spinning, grab, pass, spinning as you're bringing it up behind you. When it gets to the top, grab, pinky to pinky, spinning behind you. Go easy on yourself. Variation number 3 on the mandala was prayer hands. I think this was the first way I learned any of the mandalas, and it's so satisfying when you get it. It's tough though, so again, with every single move we've ever done, go easy on yourself, don't get frustrated. If it was super easy, every single person and their grandma would be doing it, so that's why it's so rewarding, because it's not that easy. It looks easy, but it's usually not. So in this case, we're going to be doing the prayer hands. So hands together, spinning. Starting with one hand, I'm spinning with my right to the left. Put my left hand in to spin, continuing that on that shelf with my thumbs up, and you're gonna have a fixed point with your fingers. My fingers are always gonna stay, or try to stay for the most part, towards you in this case. So I'm going to, since I'm spinning to the left, I'm gonna turn my body to the left. And when I do that, I'm gonna make like a rainbow that I go under. I'm going to lift my left elbow up so that I can rotate my body, keeping the fingers pointed towards you. And I'm going to keep pulsing with my hands as I rotate. And it will go all the way around. It's hard to do when I'm trying to talk and go kind of slow. So let me show you how that goes. The other direction may be easier for you. Let's try that. Maybe easier for me. Spinning to the right, putting that hand in, putting that elbow up, going around. Not easy. If you start losing it, just pull a hand out and grab it and be like, I tried to do that. I'm spinning to the left, and I'm going to try to go under it, going to the right. You can do this either way. Challenge yourself. Remember to keep pulsing as you're turning. When you get here, it's about when it gets the weirdest. Just keep following through. Woo! So that is the prayer hand mandala. Moving forward, variation number 4, probably my favorite. Or you can start at the top. Reverse it. And over your left, and you are going to pull her up to 9 o'clock. When it gets to about 9 o'clock and you're in this position, also keeping in mind the way it's being held is the hoop is pretty much behind that forearm. Grabbing it right there though. So it would be wise to just practice this for a while, going both ways. See, I'm un-Xing that spot, but I'm still holding the hoop in the exact same spot, so that's not changing. Okay? X marks the spot. Bring it up like an archer. X marks the spot. Bring it to the other side. To an archer stance. Yeah. Ta-da, ta-da. So my hand is, yeah, like I said, they are staying relatively in the same spots, other than they are rotating like this to make it work, but your actual hands are staying in the right spot. Same spot, excuse me. So exit. We will bring that up to the left. When it gets to about 9 o'clock is when you're going to start folding it behind you. Okay, it's behind me, and now I've got an X at the top. So I was in an archery stance, and then I remade this X above me. So sexy. And then bring it down to your 3 o'clock. My fist is facing you with my right hand. Left one, my fist they're up. Until they're not, because then you are rotating like so. I've got my grip like this. So bring it up and around. Reverse it. This one's really one of the easier ones to do both ways, in my opinion. Probably because your hands, they really are never leaving a spot. So there's a lot less to think about this one when you reverse it. So, and this one, you can pulse it like you're bringing it up. I like to do that. Make it a little more dramatic when you bring it up. You go super slow with it. And it's the same concept like with the other mandalas, is the hoop, the gravity, well, your hands are doing the work, but just think of gravity bringing the actual hoop down. So when you get up here, it's not up, it's rotating down and around you. It is touching my lower back when it comes around, kind of like a smear. My arms are getting extremely tired. That's great. Good workout. I'm going to show you from the back. And reversing it. Got a little wonky there. That's normal. Those are a bunch of mandalas to work on. In class 3, I didn't connect everything together. With there being so many different variations, I didn't want to tie them all together in a choreographed thing. Like, I just want you to see what there is for these moves and work on them at your leisure. So yeah, I will try to piece them together a little bit though, because that is one of the things when I first started learning, I was just learning the moves, but I never really knew how to put the moves together, which I feel like probably would have progressed me a little bit faster. Not that faster is better, but it's just a really good feeling when you actually got a flow going, you know? Rather than being like, I'm doing weaves, and then what's that other move? Oh yeah, this other one I learned, it goes like this. Like, it's super cool if you just got your song going, and next thing you know, you are flowing. Yeah. All right, the next things that we went through in class were escalators and folds, which are great transitions to getting into those escalators. So, folds. I love folds. I do them quite a bit, actually. So you've got your hoop. In this case, I've got my thumb up, grasped around there. It's a loose grip because you're going to want to be able to swing it. So if we're just swinging to and fro, and eventually you're going to swing it so that it folds over your arm. Okay? Swing it back. Do that. Swing it over your arm. Doesn't always have to be to the side, which you'll find out. You can move it around. It can go in front of you. So cool. Turn with it. When I am folding, it is folding over my forearm. And when it pushes back and rolls over to the other side, it is coming up again, kind of this time over the inside of the bend of the inside of my elbow. Over the forearm, over, kind of depends. On the size of the hoop, obviously, is going to make a huge difference because otherwise sometimes it's up on my bicep. Woo! I like to transition it to the other arm. So like an elbow, inner elbow, break or toss, I guess you'd call it in a way. But my hands are holding the hoop like so, and I'm going to just toss it to the other side. And then I'm grabbing it, I've grabbed it in that elbow crease, crevice, and you can fold it back over to the front, fold it back over to the back, toss it, toss it. It kind of, sometimes when I toss the hoop from side to side like this, I will use like these fingers, like this kind of a toss. After a while, you just don't really think about it. Kind of like just throwing a ball from hand to hand. You don't think of how the technicalities of how the fingers curl around the ball. You just do it. Sometimes I use my thumb grabs it, but then it transitions. It kind of rolls over my palm. Thumb grabs it, rolls over my palm, and then the rest of my fingers release. Thumb grabs it, rolls it over my palm, and then the fingertips grab it to release. Or if it's going fast enough, I'm just grabbing it like that and kind of just pushing it back to the other side. So you can put those together by folding back, tossing it, fold, forward, fold, back, toss. Forward, back, toss, flip it forward so it falls, but then give it that momentum to come back up around, and then just follow the pathway in reverse. Fold it, let it fall, but let it fold all the way to the back, toss. Yeah. So, which brings me to my favorite way to get into the escalator. We are going to, one of my favorite ways to go into an escalator is through a fold. So you take that hoop, swing it back, under, up, over, around, until you get to that fold. But you're going to hold it parallel to the ground, and then you're going to raise this arm up and over, across you. Okay? It's resting on my bicep. Different hoops, different sizes, different arm lengths. It's all going to be different. So either way, flipping the hoop back, up, over, and in that motion as that's happening, you're going to bring this arm in front of you, put this arm through, and as it's coming through, it's going to be one fluid motion of this arm coming back, and as it's letting go, this arm is going to be kind of holding it against your body as it falls down. Flip it back, up, over, dive through, like I do declare with this right hand up by your forehead, and as it lets go, see, when it is up here also, this is the hold I've got. It's on those fingertips, and it is also on my strong arm. And this is holding it, and it will come against my body as I'm letting go. And when I let go, this arm obviously has to come in so it can follow the path of your body, and when you do let go, it will do its own thing as it comes down. As it comes down is when you're going to lift your leg up and your leg will come out so that you can then grab it with this hand. The hand that was holding it. The hand will be right there ready to grab it for you. Flip forward, dive in, let go, lift up, grab, and point your foot. Reverse it just by grabbing, putting the leg up, pulling the hoop up and around you. I have contact to my hip right there when it's pulling up, just for some stability. And then I can then from there hinge it forward. There are roughly, like I was telling you in class, there's like 60 variations of escalators. So we're just touching base on a few of them, and I hope you like it. But the transitions that I really like doing are, again, this way, or out of a hinge, which would be like we did in class. And then instead of grabbing it, you're going to let it keep going forward. This hand is guiding it that way to my right. It's on my hip. So it's hinging backwards. This hand, you can do what you like with it. This one actually doesn't need to necessarily be moved. I always do something like that because I'm already following the hoop that way. Yeah, otherwise you can just leave it in, so the hoop would hinge back over and across my lower back. This hand is getting ready to not necessarily flick it, but guide it to my right. So it's guiding it this way. And at the same time as you're doing that, you are going to lift your opposite leg up because it needs to shelf on your hip to keep going the way it's going. So if I tried it without doing my leg, it's just gonna fall, right? It's gonna be weird. But if I bring my hip up and give it a shelf, a contact point, that's what all these tricks are based on, are contact points. My contact point is my hip. And you're going to guide it, keep guiding it to the right. And it's always the opposite leg that goes up. So if I'm coming down from my left hand, my right hip and leg is going to come up like so. And then you're going to grab it with the same hand that brought it down. In this case, it's going to hinge back, guide it down, hip, twist, leg out. So the other variation of hinging into it, that was the backward hinge. So let's not leave out the forward hinge for this one, is also pretty cool. Bring it around your back to hinge it around. Grab it with that right hand again. Hinge it forward. Okay? Hinge it forward. It's the same concept. See how I was doing that before? But in this case, you're going to hinge it forward, and your wrist is going to end up, and it's going to do kind of a flick, but just a guiding. It's going to guide it that way. And before I was saying that whatever hand you're using, it would be the opposite leg. I mean, it's whatever side you're starting. That would be the opposite leg. Because in this case, I am using my right hand and I'm using my right leg. Right? But I am starting the escalator on my left side. Therefore, it is the opposite leg. Okay. So, this one you can have it meet right on your arm. It's just another variation. If you don't want to pull your arm through and go under like so, you can also just have it meet that arm. And the arm is down there to grab it. The hoop will float down to where the hand will comfortably just grab it from that spot. So there's the reverse, forward. Yeah. I would get in the habit of doing, get in the habit of doing both ways for drilling purposes. So hinge it to the back, bring it down, reverse it, and then push it towards the front, da-da-da, and then do the other hand as well, so that you're fluent on both sides. Yeah. Another transition point of getting into this escalator, which is pretty fun, would be from doing a fold, but a little bit different than before because we're doing it from up here, doing it from the top. And gravity is your friend in this case because you are going to fold it towards you. Excuse me. Yeah. You are going to fold it almost at a 90 degree, and you're going to fold it, and when it gets to this point you're going to let go, but you're also going to, I wouldn't say lift your arm that way, but you're going to nudge it ever so slightly. When I was first doing this one, I hit my face a lot. I still do actually, so might want to, just gotta set my glasses. You can fold it and tilt your head over so slightly if you're more comfortable that way. But the spinning momentum and gravity are gonna get it going to where you want it to go. You just have to have the confidence to let go at the right time, I think, is the biggest thing. So you're folding forward and then looping it. It's really hard to do this slow. Folding it, and then you're going up, but not over. I'm over exaggerating. So that it would still be it's starting on your right side, therefore your left leg is coming up at the end. Folding, little lift, and it just falls to where it needs to be. Okay. Yeah, I think that was everything other than showing you just a couple little ways to, if you do a hoop drop, which I do all the time, no problem. I use my foot like I'm trying to smear off some gum or some, other gross stuff that gets on the bottom of your shoe. Put the foot on top of the hoop like so and drag it using a lot of toe strength. Obviously you can do this with shoes. It's kind of hard depending on if you have socks on, that can make it difficult. But yeah, it's a good way to be like, I tried to drop my hoop because I want to do this cute way to pick it up. So there's that. Otherwise, the other thing I had shown you, I just pull it up on my toe and I lift it. It's like a lift kick, but you're pulling your foot towards you. Put it on your foot, and it goes on your body like so. You have to bow at the same time, otherwise it's gonna hit your face like I've done a million times. That was top of my head, so close. Yeah, fun stuff. So, like always, if you have any questions, let me know. Don't know if I'll be able to answer them, but I will do my best. And again, I will try to form this all into a somewhat of a flowish state at some point. So hopefully by like class 6, the last class, we'll be able to kind of rock like a whole song, flow session, and just piece them all together. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. I don't know. Either way, I hope you have a great day.